Hey guys, what up? Good morning, race fans. Total Control 871. Um, okay. This morning I'd like to talk about something. Um, Sorry if the audio is a little choppy. We do got a little bit of wind this morning, and so apologies if the wind muffles the mic. All right. Even before yesterday's setback in court, I have been toiling and tossing around an idea, a concept in my mind for some time now. Um, the elephant element in the room. Do bicycles need to be emancipated from their state of limbo? Um, on my YouTube page, there's no shortage of footage of bad drivers, of me being forced to cycle in these illegal fashions that are extremely hazardous. We see ample footage of it, and we see the end result of that. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I just woke up. My voice cracked real bad, didn't it? Anyway, um, so yeah, we've got plenty of video footage of bad drivers. We got plenty of video footage of me being forced to cycle in extremely hazardous manner. But what I'd like to talk about today is the bicycles. You see, I really hesitate to talk about it because, it's a really taboo subject in the cycling community. Every now and then, some legislator will throw it onto the floor to require cyclists to utilize or to have a license. Should we be licensed? Um, it's like, let's see, how can I say this? It's a really slippery slope. You begin to open up all these different segregations and classifications. In criterium racing, be it in the pro peloton, amateur peloton, if you go and look at a cycling group's their webpage, they will list their rides in classifications. A pace, B pace, C pace, stuff like that. So you know would these cyclists be licensed according to a classification? You're a class A cyclist, a class B cyclist, a class, it I toy around with that idea, but unfortunately it all comes back to being moot, because even the best, I believe Tony Martin is the time trial champion of the world. I believe Peter Sagan he holds the rainbow jersey right now. People like him, all of your sprinters, Marcel Kittel, Mark Cavendish, your big name sprinters, not even they can go 50 miles an hour sustained. When they do their sprints, it's just like a cheetah. Cheetah's top speed is 2 miles. When they do their sprints, actually they're under 2 miles out. They're like a mile and a half out, or maybe a mile away from the finish line when they light the afterburners and the booster rockets, and that's when they go. And they can ramp up the assuming they're not on an incline, that the race isn't going to finish on an incline. But they can do their stuff, and they can punch up their bikes to, like, 40 miles an hour. It is possible. jumping up to 40 miles an hour. But like I say, you're really only going to be able to hold that speed for like, a mile and a half maybe. Um, Not even they could sustain it, indefinitely. Um, and then it gets into classifications and segregations. Um, how do I want to say this? Then you have the money associated with licensing, registration. See, cyclists would never be given a fair shake in terms of the money. Everything that motor vehicles pay today, their for their insurance, their license, all of that is geared toward sustaining a road that these motor vehicles destroy and tear down. Bicycles do not damage roads, like, at all. So if we were to be licensed and build, a licensing fee, a registration fee, it should be in balance with our road usage. Do you understand? Our impact on the road, which is practically non-existent. So, and the problem with that is that, once you put that foothold in, that's why, a lot of your big name cycling agencies of the world, the American League of Cycling, and, as soon as those bills are thrown onto the floor, they're quickly, quashed, and stomped out, because we all know where that slippery slope goes. As soon as you start, let's say, a bicyclist license, oh, we're only going to charge you $1. Yeah, $1 today. And then after your fiscal mismanagement, like in Atlantic City, you're so cash strapped, you're desperate. Next thing you got us paying $5, then $10, it'll just spiral out of control. So, but more to the point is that the roads are not just only open to racers. They're open to cyclists of all capabilities. And which leads me to the whole, do bicycles need to be emancipated out of their limbo? The only time I've ever seen police officers, well, myself accepted, invoke bicycling laws is when they want to stop a suspected thug and do a drug shakedown. That's the only time I've ever seen police officers, invoke any kind of cycling laws. You don't have this on the bike, you don't have that on the bike, you're not riding the right way. They'll use that to stop somebody they think is carrying drugs. And other than that, the bicycle is just simply seen as a child's toy, a thing of amusement, a thing of play, a thing of recreation. It just simply is not recognized as the legal vehicle that it is. So, the bicycle, it's emancipated already on paper, but it just simply needs to come out of this state of limbo. And it is in a state of limbo. Drivers, they don't really acknowledge it as a fellow road users. The cops don't. So, what can I say? If you start licensing cyclists, the fees will spiral out of control, and it's all moot anyway, because the roads are open to all cyclists of all capabilities. I definitely know I'm not the fastest cyclist that there are out there. So, there are weather conditions that will slow us down. And by the way, there are weather conditions that will slow motor vehicles down. So, like I say, it's very tit for tat. In the footage that I uploaded yesterday, we see how I utilize lane control to go to the bike shop. Did vehicles have to slow down in back of me? Yes, they did. When you're in your car, do you have to slow down in back of other vehicles? Change lanes? Yes, you do. Do other vehicles in back of you have to slow down, change lanes? Yes, they do. So I'm just one more vehicle that you're going to have to slow down and change lanes as I jockey for position to get to my final destination. There is no impediment of traffic. Matter of fact, while I'm talking about that, the further out, because, that's one of the arguments that's being made, is that I need to stay to the right longer and then move left, maybe before making my left-hand turn. That could get really problematic. If you delay my migration over to the left too long, then guess what? You're going to have a vehicle that's my bicycle, you're going to have a vehicle that's come to a complete stop until I can get a break in traffic to go all the way over to the left. That's why traffic, it operates as an ebb and flow. We all move at different speeds, and it ebbs and it flows. So, that's why we all use our common sense. That's why I migrate over to the correct lane position. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Bicycles are going to have to, they're becoming more popular as a form of alternative transportation. You're going to have to give us our liberation, our freedom. It's not fair that you would expect us to ride side by side. And it's ironic too because although it's two totally different days, but in the EHT Officer Politis stop, there's a big ass Coca-Cola truck, and in the footage I uploaded yesterday, there's a big ass Coca-Cola truck. Those big rigs, they're like 8.5 feet wide. The lanes, those tilting lanes, they're only 10 feet wide. I'm 2 feet wide on my bike. So you're telling me to just ride on the right hand side of these lanes and what? Throw caution to the wind and just hope and pray that everything will be okay? No. I'm going to utilize lane control. Take the center of the lane, which will make the traffic change lanes. They're not impeded. They just have to change lanes. It's not difficult, as we see in the footage. The driver, I think we had one that was angry. He honked his horn. Oh my. Oh my, did you have to honk your horn? I'm so sorry. Did you have to change lanes? I'm so sorry. It's traffic. It's traffic for you. So, yeah. What can I say, guys? Alright, I don't want the video to get too long. I'm still a little fuzzy in the head. Maybe I'll re-record this later. I don't know. I have to see how I feel. Hold on a second. I want to try something. I want to see what happens when I hit this one particular button. If it works, then I'll discover something new about my phone. And if it doesn't, then it'll just cut the video off. And if so, Total Control 871, and I'll see you guys later. Let's see what happens. Ah, interesting. Okay. So I have learned that I can hit a pause button. See, hit the pause, and then hit play, or record again. So there's a tiny little editing trick, I guess. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right, guys. I'm not looking forward to these new tickets. It does. It gives you that sinking feeling. It gives you woe, dread. Um, I'll be honest with you. It's like there is parts of me that says, just damn it all to hell, ride in their turning lanes and hope for the best. But we see what happens, and that's the most insulting part of all. Riding in these turning lanes or trying to share a narrow lane with large vehicles, it ultimately ends in death. Because, that's, let me make that point. That's one thing that the police seem to operate under the premise or the understanding of, stay to the right, use turning lanes, ride on the right side of the lane, squeeze in, and everything will be okay. No. Everything will not be okay. I myself have been hit twice doing it that way. I've been the victim of 2 hit and runs. And your courtrooms, I sit there and they are just filled with bad drivers. Drivers that are unlicensed, uninsured, careless, reckless. If these drivers are so trustable, or if they can be trusted so much, don't tell me, why do you even need a move over law? How come you just don't trust them? Yeah, you're not willing to put your cop life in those civilian hands, are you? Yeah, no, I didn't think so. When it's your life on the line, then you take measures, you take steps. But when it's a cyclist, oh well. And that's exactly what would happen. Doing it your way. Riding in turning lanes. When the unthinkable finally happens. And I'm killed. I won't even make the news. Oh well. It was an unfortunate accident. I bet the driver won't even get a ticket, and if they do, they'll have the back of their hands paddled. Now, you should have given that person on a bike a little bit more room. Well, gee, had I been using lane control, well then it wouldn't have been left a chance, would it? They would have been forced to give me more room by changing lanes. Huh. All right, it's getting too long. Total Control 871.